Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this amazing Saturday. Today, a little bit different. The setup, we're not streaming directly from the SSB headquarters. This last meeting of 2024, we're streaming live to you directly from our homes. We decided to give everybody the time to stay home and follow us online, but no different as if we were, at the SSB at the headquarters with one another. My warm welcome to you, as if we were together, hugging one another, kisses for some of us, and really cheering up this end of year gathering for all of us. We had an amazing month of December at the SSB, and Daniel will give continuation today with this last meeting, talking about a very important topic as well. But before we get to that, and I pass the word to Daniel, as we would like to do at the SSB, the same way we will be doing here, we will be reading a passage of the book Happy Life and say a short prayer for us to gear up and get together in the topic at hand. Joanna de Angelis on the book Happy Life says the following, and this is chapter 112. Read one small page a day where you find encouragement and inspiration. Incorporate this duty into your daily habits. It will enrich you with jubilation, clearing away the clouds that could envelop you in the hours to come and leading you to well being in case there is some disagreeable surprise. Everyone needs a good counselor, and on this page, which you will extract from the Gospels, you will find the secure guideline and the word of wisdom for any situation. If men would just reflect a little before acting, they would avoid countless evils. Since others are not doing it, why not do it yourself? This way, we're thankful for opening up this beautiful reminder from Joanna de Angelis. Let us pray. Let us give thanks for this opportunity that we have, the opportunity that we have to be with one another, trying to understand ourselves, trying to understand the environment, and really project ourselves into a better future as we try to be better beings through better actions, good deeds, good thoughts, and good feelings towards ourselves and towards others. Bless the mind and hearts of all of our brothers and sisters who will be following us, dear Lord. Guide the mind and heart of our dear friend Daniel, and may he be a vessel of light to bring it to us, this beautiful ideal of hope, what Spiritism brings to us, and how we can be enlightened so that we can be more hopeful, so that we can guide others into this very special feeling towards ourselves and towards others. May your guidance, protection be with us now and ever, and so be it. So, welcome again. And as we were saying, this month of December, we usually at the SSB try to focus into the teachings as we do throughout the year. But the month of December is a little bit more special, right? We try to focus into the teachings of Jesus. Agnes at the beginning of the month talked about Jesus, the Savior, the warrior, and the teacher. It was a closed, not streamed session. Kirsten talked about the teachings of Christ as well, and Christmas, the idea of Christmas to us, as she brought a very beautiful message from Joanna de Angelis, reminding us to keep, and other authors as well, to keep the idea of Christmas as a perennial feeling, right? That keeps coming back throughout the year, not just only this time of the year. Beautiful message. And Wendell and I, last week, we talked about forgiveness, a new resolution for the new year, right? And Daniel today, very wisely decided to bring this idea of hope, right, Daniel? That we need to keep hope alive. And we were talking about about a week or two ago into this idea. We went into this idea of how many people are in despair, how many people they live because they have to live, but they have no hope. They have no hope that tomorrow will be better. They have no hope that things can change in their lives. And here we are today, giving the floor to Daniel to talk about this much needed exercise that we need to exercise our hope, right? If we can say it that way, right, Daniel? And I'll pass the word to you to give a continuation to this beautiful thought and close this month of December as well. Thank you. Daniel, we cannot hear you.
Oh, my mic
So
was
yeah,
was
I was
mute.
trying to get myself back in there, so you need to restart there. Sorry about
Okay,
that.
no problem, no problem. Thank you, Leo. Again, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Depends where you are watching this presentation. We um we don't know if you're watching live or if you're gonna watch this later. As Leo has beautiful said in the introduction about this topic, keep hope alive. It is, I guess, at this moment in this planet, as we finish one year and start a new one. What we see is people making this renewal of that the new year is going to bring more accomplishment and hope. And we wanted just to emphasize this. We wanted to reinforce for you that's watching this presentation to keep hope alive, because without hope, life would be without no meaning, right? We're gonna be just a vegetable type of life, with no goals, right? No objective in life. So we brought some slides here for us to reflect on this topic of hope. Um, let me. Okay. So since we are the dawn, approaching a new year, a couple days, more three days, we're gonna be enter the year of 2025. We wanted to just reflect why it's important for us to keep hope alive, right? So so this is the time of the year that we see a wave of hope, a wave of promise, of resolution, of renewal, right? For some people, is the opportunity to restart again, and it is opportunity for us to restart a new cycle in our life. Promise ourselves, promise others that the new year will bring a opportunity for us to do things that we have not be able to do in the year that's about to finish, to end. So we see that. We see this, in conversation. We see this in family. We see this on the news. This wave of hope that permeates our planet, right? So it is a time for reflection, time for us to, you know, look at back and identify things that we have accomplished, acknowledge past accomplishment, but also a time for us to promise, to make this promise that the new year will bring the opportunity for us to, do things that is, you know, moral change, or new skills, or, habit that is not healthy. So this is the time that bring what we call a sense of possibilities, right? A tradition of make resolutions. And the resolution here is the promise to ourselves to improve, to change, to become better version of who we are, right? So, and this wave of hope, this wave of positive thought that, majority of people in this planet is contemplate right now, bring us to a level that will, also attract spiritual influence for those that wanted to help us. But here is the question: how many of those resolutions that we have promised ourselves will carry on through the rest of the year? Well, this is personal things. It depends how disciplined, how committed we are with our resolution. And we see that a couple of resolution. This is 10 tops resolution that we can find people making this time of the year, right? Some people think about going and help others, learn a new skill, something new, get out of debt, right? Be more, uh, spend more time with family, exercise, lose weight. So we see that majority of those resolution is related to, the physical, the material environment that we are. There's nothing wrong with that. Anything that bring us to a stage that will help us, will help ourselves and help others, always is positive. So there is a article that was published in the Psychological Inquiry in 2002 by Snyder, CR, and is about the whole theory research and three things, three elements he published in this research that is related to the theory of hopes, the definition of hopes. Hopes as a complex concept with a few key elements. Let's revisit that. One is the hope bring this expectation of something positive, right? It is about believing that good things can happen even when things seems miserable or maybe not, doesn't have a even if when things doesn't seem to be uh, capable to be accomplished, but we have inside of us this expectation that will turn out as a positive thing. Also, the concept that bring this desire for a better future. Hope fuels our dreams in aspiration, motivating us to work toward a brighter tomorrow. Also, another key element is a sense of responsibility, as we have mentioned in the previous slide. It's acknowledged that change is possible and that we have the potential to overcome challenges. So this is based on this research that was done by Snyder about 22 years ago, and we can verify that, right? So although this was published as a research, but we personally we know that hope bring this positive expectation, right? There is no such thing as a negative hope, right? When we talk about hope, always is related to a positive thing, a positive something good will come, right? So also, he mentioned in this publication that higher hope consistently is related to better outcome in several areas of our life. So people that is more hopeful, they improve their academic field, athletic field like sportship activity, tend to be more tend to be have better outcome now among those athletes, those people that is in the field of sport. Also, physical health. There is a huge impact that this paper bring about, you know, people that has some physical health problem. Keep hope higher will help in the healing process. Also, psychological adjustment is very important to even if we feel at some time that, you know, we're not gonna get better, keeping hope higher will help in the process of psychological adjustment. Also in psychotherapy, right? So I guess psychological adjustment psychotherapy has is correlated, right? So mental issues or situation that one may need to have a boost of hope that that situation will pass. What about what spirituals bring to us about hope? Well, we know that hope is already one of the embed virtues that we, the spirit, need to cultivate. So the concept of hope is closely related to the understanding of at least two things in spiritualism. The first one is the immortality of the soul. Well, if we do not cultivate hope in our life, um, why we believe that we are immortal beings, right? So, in order for us to cultivate hope, we need to have inside of us this desire or this potential um, desire that we are not the physical body only. Although sometimes it's very difficult for us to uh, bring this concept to our life because we feel that we are the physical body, but we are not, right? So they have the idea that we are immortal beings or immortal with our spirit that is just living temporary in a physical body will somehow make us more hopeful, right? The other is a continuation of the continuous progress of the spirit toward perfection. One of the things that for sure will help us to be more hopeful is this idea that we are progressing toward a much better position as we are nowadays. So toward perfection, right? The Gospel according to Spiritism, on chapter 19, item 11, a spirit, the item that is entitled Instruction from the Spirit. And then this is the chapter about faith move mountain. We have a message from the Spirit, Joseph, a protective spirit, where he talk about hope, but hope as being the daughter, right, of faith. So the title of this passage is called Faith, the Mother of Hope and Charity. And we extract only two paragraphs because it is very appropriate. We cannot separate hope, charity from faith. So it's very important that faith, that we cultivate faith as well. And the spirit Joseph, he mentioned like this in the beginning of the message, the paragraph. He started by saying, in order to be profitable, faith must be active. It must not grow numb. Mother of all virtue which lead to God is watch carefully over the development of the children it generates. Hope and charity are a consequence of faith. These three virtues form a inseparable trinity. So, for people that is also very faithful, that things will get better, is easy also to potentiate the feeling of hope. And once we have this faith, hope, and charity in the sense here that it's not only the material charity, but the charity here was the what we learn about in the Spirit's book when Kardec asked what would be charity according to understood by Jesus, and the answer was indulgence uh, toward everyone, um, indulgence, no, benevolence toward everyone, indulgence to with the faults of others, and forgiveness of offense. So it will be that we consider charity in the ultimate goal of the word charity, that go beyond just give, material things. And then the spirits continue by saying, it is not faith which help us to have hope in the realization of God's promise. If there was no faith, what would there be to hope for? What would there be to hope for? Is it not faith which gives love? If you do not have faith, what would be your worth and what quality would your love have? So we see here that the foundation to be more hopeful in life is faith. It's faith that we are not here by chance, that there is a creator, that the moment that we are here is a great opportunity for us um, to exercise the belief that we are here with a purpose in life, that we is to progress, right? And even when life becomes a little bit challenged and will become challenged, because that is the motto that help us to become better individuals, right? Is through challenge that will test ourselves and that will potentiate the good things and develop what we call virtues, right? So continue about the next question would be what about the life misfortune? What about even if I try to do everything right in my life, why we still need to suffering, right? What's the lesson that bad experience happen to good people, for example? So to answer this question in the Spears book, question 924, and this is in the fourth part of the fourth book, the fourth part of the Spirit's book, where is entitled Hope and Consolation. And that is a beautiful part of the Spirit's book because bring us exactly what we are talking about, hope and consolation. So Kardec asked this question to the superior spirit. There are misfortunes which do not depend on the way we act and which harms the most righteous people. Isn't there a way to keep ourselves from such misfortunes? So pretty much, Kardec is asking, so okay, what about people that do everything right in life, but still are, facing uh, difficulty, suffering, disease, and things that in the eyes of some people, we the incarnated being, we would say that would not be fair, right? So, and then the answer is, if you want to progress, you must resign yourself and endure misfortune without complaining. However, you will always find consolation within your own conscience, which gives you the hope of a better future, provided you to what is needed to obtain it. So we highlight hope of a better future. So this answer, you may not, at the first look, you may not get it to understand, but it's pretty much saying to us in a very plain word here, this also shall pass, right? This suffering, this situation that we may be experience now will pass if we have our hope in a future life or in a better future, right? So it is a exercise of the desire, the nature of our creation, plus our free will to become better. And Here is something very important that we need to remind ourselves is that, okay, God help us, the good spirit will help us, but we still need to do our homework. We still need to make effort to become a better person. And we are not here take this moment to point out in which area. We only us know our limitations. Only us know where which area we need to work to become better person. But as if we cultivate, as we going through those process and we cultivate hope, I would say that this exercise or this experience will become less, I would say, less hard or less painful. We may say like this, right? So, in the Gospel according to Spiritism, in the chapter 25, item 2, there are explanation by Kardec when he talks about compare animal life with human life. And in the middle of the chapter, item 2, not in the middle, the beginning, I would say. So there's this question: what differentiates us from animals? Like when talk about animal, we talk the animal kingdom, not the not the human kingdom, right? Uh, and the explanation is a little bit longer, but we just got an insert of that. The incessant desire to be better ourselves. It is the desire that drives us to seek out means of improving our situation. So what differentiates us from animals is that we don't live only by instinct. We carry inside of us the insensate desire to better ourselves. Daniel, but when I looked, our planet nowadays, I don't see people um, develop or having this desire to better themselves. Well, first of all, this teaching is personal. It's for ourselves, right? We don't know the life of others, of your neighbor, of your family member, right? We don't know the struggle that that person is going through and try to, to become better. And sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes it's not going to be in one lifetime that we're going to improve one specific area. We may need more life, right? So in question 909 of the Spirit's book, Kardec asks, could human always overcome their evil tendencies through their own effort? So since we are talking about better ourselves, so Kardec wanted to know from the spirits, if to overcome bad tendencies, we need to have extra help or we can do this by ourselves. The answer is very short. It's a yes, and sometimes we will with very little effort. Yes, we can overcome our bad tendencies and sometimes with very little effort. What they mean us lack is willpower. How few of you make certain effort, however. So again, it's a personal um, situation that we should ask ourselves. The Spirit is saying here that, if you really wanted to make a difference in our life, we just need to make very little effort. Very little. Well, for some, what it is very little effort is what? Couple days? Is a change of habit, you know, could be years. Some of them, maybe this little effort may take one lifetime, right? So it is a question, it is an invitation for each one of us to really ask the question how much effort we are putting to change a habit, to become a better person, to be more hopeful, right? Are we really making this effort, or are we only in the complaining mode, right? or blaming others. We are not saying here that, there are times that we need to vent, we need to really blame, but that's not what we learn. That's not what the good spirits, that's not with the great people in humanity has taught us, right? At the end of the day, is going to be a personal responsibility. What other people is doing that, well, may be affecting us, our life, may put us in a situation of complaining, of, um, you know, put the responsibility in order. But also, we should not forget that is an opportunity for us to exercise virtues. Because the moment we complain about others, we are missing an opportunity to develop inside of us virtues, and we are just in the mode of um, 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 the victim mode, I would say, right? Okay, so we approach, we almost finalize our reflection for today, and because we are, as I mentioned in the beginning, close to the end of the year and beginning of new year, we always would like to bring this message from Emmanuel. Emmanuel, the spirit's mentor of the Brazilian medium Chico Xavier, has this message in the book Vida en Caminho, Life and Pathway. The book is not in English yet, and the title of this message is New Year's Letter. We like to read what Emmanuel is bringing to us about this time in the year, all right? Although this letter, we always, majority of the time, we read this at the end of a year, beginning of a new year, as a reminder that if we do our part, definitely we're gonna be helped by others that really want us well, to be well. So let us see what Emmanuel brings to us. He starts by saying, the new year is also an opportunity to learn, to work, and to serve. As a fatherly friend, time reincarnates in the body of the calendar, unveiling for us clearly horizon required for our ascension. Remember that the year in return is a new day calling you to fulfill old promises that you have not yet had the courage to actually fulfill. If you have enemies, make the hour reborn your path of reconciliation. If you were offended, forgive so that love may enlighten your road ahead. If you rested too much, pick up the plow of your obligation and courageously plant the good for the harvest to come. If sadness visits you, forget it and seek for the serene joy of conscience and duty well done. New year, new day. Smile to those who hurt you and look for harmony with those who have not understood you until now. Well, it's hard, right? Smile to those that have hurt us. Remember that is more ignorant than malice surrounding your destiny. Do not curse or condemn. Help by sparking some light at those who pass by your side and the restlessness of darkness. In restlessness of darkness. Do not either get discouraged or lose faith. Very important. Do not either get discouraged or lose faith. So if we lose our faith, automatically we are losing our hope, right? Since faith is the mother of hope and charity. Cultivate the good cheers with those who come your way and they are dominated by the coldness of disenchantment, disenchantment of indifference. Sorry about that big word over there. Disenchantment or indifference. And to finalize, he concludes by saying, do not forget that Jesus never despised with us, as if hidden by our side. He patiently and kindly repeats to us over and over, quote, love and help always. Reach out to others supporting yourself. Because if the day comes back tomorrow, I will be with you, waiting for the sweet joy of the open door of your heart. Beautiful, right? Love and help always. Reach out to others supporting yourselves. Because if the day comes back tomorrow, I will be with you, waiting for the sweet joy of the open door of your hearts. Beautiful message, right? So then to finalize, the question is, how can we learn to be more hopeful? We need to dare it to be hope, right? Dare to be hope, right? Sh- uh, um, is putting as a challenge, right, to be hopeful. Observe our thoughts is very important because the hope is a sentiment, is a feeling, but everything starts in our thoughts. So let us be more positive. Set positive and mindful goals, very important. Maintain our connection with the supreme intelligence. Always, always put God first. No matter what happened, no matter if you make the mistake, if you were hurted, if you are feeling, abandoned, if you are feeling depressed, remember, there is a creator, there is God, there is enlightened beings that is watching us. So we just need to open our mind, our heart to receive the input of those beings. Share your hope for others, of course. Be the one that bring hope to others. Um, Potentiate positive things. Trying to see things in a more positive way, even though with the fast um, communication system that we have nowadays, it seems that we are experience a more bad thing in our planet, right? But we need to take in consideration that our population has increased a lot in the last couple centuries. So we have more people in this planet incarnated, and our technological system, our communication system has improved tremendously. So nowadays, information, things happen, you know, and the news is coming faster and faster to the palm of our hand, right? In our cell phone or TV, any device that we use to keep us connected. We also receive information that is not good ones, but it's up to us to make a triage to filter what type of information we wanted um, to absorb in our life, in our daily life. So with that, I would like to finalize with this beautiful, picture, because I guess this picture is a artwork of our presentation. Is we see that these flowers, no matter how dry the land is, the horizon is not clear, but the flower is there. It's beautiful, right? Despite of all the dryness of the life that surround this flower, this with what hope represents to us. And for this new year that will start, I wish you um, that you can really cultivate or maintain your hope alive during the whole year, right? Not only the first months of the year, where our resolution is um, full force, right? That we are committed to change and to become better person. So, but this is the time that we really need to um, keep hope alive more than ever. But during the whole year. Okay, with that, I'll bring Leo here, and we may go to some of question if we have Leo. If not, feel free to make your question up there. And I guess your image just okay. You're back now.
Yeah, my camera just decided to not cooperate,
It's,
but
yeah, you need to exercise your hope over there because your camera
right.
has been there.
It's not
Okay,
the
but
first.
Leo, you can go ahead and
It's not the first time, right? But anyways, yeah. So we do have. I'll try to turn it this way then, so that
yeah,
we
that's
can.
fine.
Give me 1 second. Let me do some settings here.
That's fine.
Virtual. Let's see here. Yeah,
Uh,
the best performance blur. Okay, so let's see that way. You can hear me okay, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So no, we don't have too many comments. We do have good evenings from our dear friend Marisa, saying good evening, and
Hey, Marisa.
she also mentioned that this is an amazing. Um, it has been an amazing talk and very good presentation. Thank you and God bless you. Beautiful. And then Kirsten as well, saying good evening for everyone, and sharing this moment with us. Then our dear friend Chantel, if I'm pronouncing this correct, she said, this randomly popped up in my recommended. I believe that she's following us through YouTube, and
Yes,
she's
I'm
saying, "I'm
looking
looking for
for
hope."
hope.
Yes, we all are, right? We're all
Thanks, Chantel.
in this
Yes, of
position. Yeah,
course. And keep your hope alive wherever you are. Thank you for joining us. It's not by chance, right? So it's the law of affinity. You are here with us. Probably you need to listen to that and help us also to keep our hope alive. Thank you for your comment.
yeah. So Daniel, I forgot that since I'm here with you, I posed the question. I posed the question everywhere
Yeah,
in all
yes,
the
okay.
social media,
Yeah.
which is fine. But one of the interesting things that it crossed my mind as you were talking about this is to.
Oops, sorry.
Oh,
Uh, is this one here? Which
yeah,
one?
I got
Okay.
it. I have one
Okay,
of
go
them
ahead.
here.
Yeah.
Can the influence of other spirits, incarnated or not, affect our hope? And who is responsible for the lack of hope, if there is one?
Hmm. Well, no, this is a good question because we know that spirit influence is real, right? But when we talk about spirit influence here, we need to define spirit. Where is the spirit? Us, incarnate or discarnate. So we can have influence for our incarnate fellow beings, our family members, friends. They can influence us for the positive, and for the negative. As the same discarnate spirit also is gonna do that. And I think in your question, who is responsible for the lack of hope? Well, we are the responsible one. Sometimes we like to blame others, and we have seen this. Sometimes people complain about, oh, I'm this way, or I'm not positive because, you know, my childhood, or my life, my parent or people will always put me down. So now it's very difficult for that person to see positive thing because the way the environment the person was raised for. We need to look at on that, of course.
Hmm.
Each case has a particular case. We are not here in a position to judge, right? Because there are traumas, and there are people that really has a difficult has a difficult way to see positive thing in life. They whatever they see or they comment always is follow, you know, with if in that we need to look at on that. Maybe that person was experienced deep trauma from childhood and maybe past life situation, and now the person is here in this current moment, and the question is, okay, is an opportunity to work this out. And that's why we always recommended therapy or engage in a in a community, the spiritual community, in a church, or any type of charitable work to help us to see, you know, and to potentiate hope without complaining that the lack of hope is due to this or that influence, right? Because it's the easy way for us to complain that, oh, this is a spiritual influence, oh, this is because of the way I was raised, oh, this is because the society it is. That's the easy way. So it's blame the outside. But well, we need to look at the inside of ourselves and see what can be done. Let's just assume that all this that I mentioned, we check yeah, maybe the way you're raised, or your parent, or the family, or the society, or the environment you are, make you feel have this lack of hope in society, in humanity. Okay, true. Now the question is, what can you do now from now on? So I think and there is a lot of mechanism, a lot of um, ways that we can work this out, to professional approach, and also to engage, with the activity that will help us to become more positive.
Thank you, Daniel. It's a great explanation, and I think it brings the responsibility back to us, right?
Yes,
As Chantel actually mentioned here, hope can be communal and individual. Who and what we are surrounded by matters. We have final say, but that requires a strong sense of self.
perfect. You
We're very
see,
well, yeah.
Chantal, you just like on the spot. You just answered the question like in a very short answer. I struggle myself here to answer, but what you said, we totally agree. Thank you.
And then Andrea, hello Andrea, following us as well, said, "So easy to place blame instead of owning up, right? The issue, the problem that we are facing, and we are." And I brought the question mainly to extend a little bit in this idea because it's difficult. And Chris said the following: "Great talk, Daniel. It's been hard lately to be hopeful with all going on and negative things that are coming back." It is very easy for us to look at things and say, "Oh my gosh, this is really hard." I mean, and there are moments of our lives that we get to that moment like we're out of breath, right? I have no energy whatsoever. But Christ reminded us that we ought to deliver what it is being asked and a little more, right? And we
Yes.
have received there is a beautiful message from May May, right? That is actually in English. That it is one of the books, Christmas messages, I believe. And Jeanette actually shared with us this past Monday in our before our treatment, and entitled "A Little More," right? Where may tell us, "Go a little bit more," right? Let's just keep going. And I think you tied with the idea of charity, that is the daughter along with hope of faith, right? To so that when we are serving, when we are working, it gives us the boost to think, number one, through the sacrifice that we're making, but also of what the people are going through. Because sometimes when we think that things are very hard for us and we see someone else, we're like, "Oh wow, you know, I thought I was the one suffering here, but there are people next to me that in their worse situations." So that was very, you said it very well, and I think that gives us the boost as well. Let's just keep going, and we have one another.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Andrea, for your comment over there. Yeah, it is the thing that the blaming part show us how evolved spiritually speaking we are, right?
Mhm.
Because if we look at, like, a um a population that complains a lot is children, right? So children, among the anything that happened, I mentioned this because I have two little ones here, and anything that one do that the other one doesn't agree, they complain. They can complain, oh, this is someone's fault. So this is show the maturity, the level of maturity. As Chris mentioned, yeah, it is hard. It is hard
Mhm.
to be hopeful, but that is the beauty of be here right now.
Mhm.
It is an opportunity for us, as we always mention, right, Leo? Like, when we wanted to lose weight, it is hard, right?
Mhm.
If we wanted to lose, especially like when you are like above 40, 50s, right? We are experiencing this right now in this lifetime. To lose like 1 pound is a lot of sweat, right? So we are talking about material thing. Now, imagine the moral part, the spiritual part. Should not be different, right? Because we are immortal spirit. The
Mhm.
body soon will perish, right? The physical body. But we need to, when we think about hope, faith, we always need to have our mind tuning in the immortal spirit that we are, in the future life. When we talk about the future life, means that, that perfection, that one day we're gonna be pure, we're gonna reach the relative perfection, right? And have this mindset. Whatever I do nowadays, I'm not doing only for the next couple of years. I'm trying to be more hopeful for immortality. I'm trying to be, more patient or more a human being, not for this lifetime only, but the next lifetime. So the exercise starts today, and then we will harvest, the consequence of our efforts today. It is difficult, but not impossible, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let us keep this in our mind.
I want to
And
just
and
share.
and and one thing that I don't want to, it is fine to recognize our limitation. Chris, just going back to your question, to your comment, it is fine. There is nothing wrong to, okay, it's difficult, you know, and little blame here and there. So we can breathe, but we should not stay in this level. We should not stay on this uh, mindset that things is difficult, right? Because it's like school, right? So if you do very well in your test, it's because you prepare yourself. Those that come, and the other day I was mentioning to my daughter that is in college, she'll say, "Oh, the test was very easy. Was very easy." Well, it was easy because you prepare yourself. You get A, right? But if you have not prepared yourself, you have not studied, the test would be difficult for some student that got a C, a D, or a E. It is a difficult test, right? Because they don't know the answer. So the same thing is life. So let
Mhm.
us take this opportunity in life as not as to see not as a trial, but as a test, right?
Thank you,
Back to
Daniel.
you,
I
Leo.
just want to just exemplify one thing that happened to me this past week. Going through an issue, personal thing. We
Case
don't.
study here now.
Yeah, no, it is. It's really interesting that you say this because uh, um, Isabella, my wife, asked me for one thing that about this case that we're going through. Okay, and I was like, wow. I thought I didn't want her to ask me about it because I knew that I was going to get excited, right? But that excitement that is not positive. So I took a deep breath and I started explaining the whole thing that I have done and what I have accomplished and the things that haven't been accomplished, not because of me, but because the individuals that are related to the case. And it's very difficult because it's impacting us, it's impacting our daily lives and whatnot. And I went through the whole thing, and I can see myself raising my voice, getting upset about the whole thing, and I start to think. I was like, And I told her, and I'm sorry because I know that I'm, being loud and all this, not because of you that I have to explain, but because of what's happening, right? And it's very easy for me to. It's a situation that is like I have to keep be hopeful that not only I'll continue to do the right things, towards the situation, but the other people that are involved as well also do their part, which is not happening, right? So I realized two things. One was that I got upset, right? Because it's obviously something that is not helping. Like it is not the people involved, they're not helping, they're not doing their part. And number two, I started asking myself, why am I getting upset with this? Because at the end of the day, it's something that, look, I mean, if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna have to find another way out, right? And I start analyzing the what you just said. When we're going to the gym trying to lose a 1 pound, we're talking about because of our age right now, it's a little bit harder, right? But let us think about feelings and thoughts, especially dealing with hope when we're not hopeful, when we have reincarnated over and over again with this complaining mode, with the idea that there is no tomorrow, with the idea that it has to happen now, very materialistic, so on and so forth. So to get rid of this and to say, the energy that I'm getting upset, the energy that I'm utilizing to blame someone else or to look around and not do anything, I'm going to take that energy and I'm going to do something myself,
Mm.
right? So that was the aha moment for me. I'm not saying that I have mastered this because when I think just by explaining this right now, I'm like, okay, I have to deal with that next week, right? But it's a start, right?
Mm.
So my point is that when you get to this point that, all right, I need hope. I need, things are hard. Take a deep breath. Take that energy that you whatever you're doing that is not to be hopeful and bring into hope, bring into the new day, bring into tomorrow. Today, there's nothing I can do, but tomorrow, God will show me, right?
Yeah.
And I know it's easy said than done, as you have said, right? But
Mm.
there is hope. There's got to be
Yeah.
a tomorrow, right? The same
And
way that we believe that tomorrow we're going to get up and brush our teeth, guess what? You're going to be able to do this as well. And I think that would be, I'm glad that you brought this message because we all in need of hope. I need hope.
yes. Yeah, I mean this is for all of us. I mean, we are just like being the the message of the message here, messenger of the message. And one thing that we should not forget what Joanna Judge brings to us, like, yeah, we need to acknowledge that we are upset, that we are angry. We need to acknowledge our shadows, right? And the question is, okay, once you do that, as exactly what you just said. So what's the next step? Okay, you want to complain, we're not being the mother complain. That's fine. Complain like 1 or 2 minutes. Now that you complain, now that you have cried, what are we gonna do now? How are we gonna solve that? Right? And Joanna invites us to do this reflection. She never say, "Don't be angry, don't be upset." Joanna de Angeli, the spirit's mentor of Divaldo Franco, the spiritist Brazilian medium Divaldo Franco, very clear through her books, psychological book. She always mentioned, for us to acknowledge that we are in the process of evolution, that we are human beings, not perfect yet, that we have our shadows, that we are okay to be upset, to be angry, but she brings us the next step. What are you gonna do with that? When we recognize, will make a huge difference in your own evolution. So I thank you for sharing your experience, Leo. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we all go through this. We all have our moments, but the message from our Master Jesus that exemplified through his life when he was here among us more than 2,000 years ago, to all the great minds in humanity, to the spirit, to the enlightened spirit that has brought this beautiful teaching of spiritism to us, that we can find beautifully in the gospel according to spiritism. Let us do our part because heaven will help us, right? With that, Leo, I guess we can resume now. We can
Finalize.
finalize our
Yes.
presentation,
Would you like to say the final prayer, Danny?
and let's do our final prayer. I'll bring the slide here. Let us then take this moment, first of all, to be thankful to this year that we have gone through. Although we are 3 days of the new year, let us send this prayer to all of those that are in despair. Our brothers and sisters in both planes that are looking for be more hopeful. May this prayer reach each one of our brothers and sisters that are without hope, and also those that are struggling to become better individuals, for those that are struggling in exercise the teachings of our Master Jesus. We ask the blessing for everyone present here that has been watching us and those that will be watching this presentation. May they receive our gratitude for being with us, for sharing their positive and hopeful feelings as well. With that, we conclude our presentation of today, and so be it.